And we're on. Boom. Okay, so we are, Facebook Live again on this June 3rd, a Thursday. Oh, look at this, Paul. In 3 weeks, the year will be half over. Holy guacamole. All right, we are very fortunate from the lovely state of California, from the Menifee office. Used to be we're going to talk about that, but let me introduce Jennifer Wentz first. Jennifer. Woo! So I have Jennifer on because, well, before we do that, tell them a little about yourself and all that good stuff, and then we'll get into all the goodies.
Okay, sure. Yeah. My name is Jennifer Wentz. Hi, everybody. I'm sure you're going to ask me some of these questions, Rick, but I have been in the city of Menifee my entire life. So since 1988, I've been here where sheep were grazing, where this office currently is sitting. So I've seen a lot of change in this city. It's my home. My family's originally from Wisconsin, and we go back and occasionally visit there every few years or so. But I love this city. It's growing like crazy. I think we're on one of the top 10 for California for growth. So it's fun to see where it started and now where it's come to. And we have an amazing office, and I love this location here with everyone here. And I'm just excited to be on with you guys. So thanks for having me.
My pleasure. No, thanks for taking your time out today. I know how busy you are. So let me just tell this quick, about what, almost 2 years ago now, Mark Stark, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services here, from Nevada, Arizona, California, bought, or part of Tarbell Real Estate, which you had just joined less than a year before to be the manager of the Menifee office. So you transitioned from so much change for you. Then you became Berkshire Hathaway, which you dove right in and with your recruiting and all that good stuff, and still selling on the side. And then one day said, you know what, my real estate business is taking a lot of time. I'm going to step down as manager, okay, which you did. And now you're just a rock star. You're the rock star agent in that office too. So congratulations with that. That is so awesome. So I tell us about that transition, because I think that is that's so interesting and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, the transition was kind of crazy. So I've been a real estate agent for about 7.5 years. Matter of fact, I need to start thinking about my renewal here coming up. Dang it. But yeah, 7.5 years in the industry. And I started with Tarbell Realtors. Actually, I went to a seminar with all the old managers that are actually still managing here for Berkshire Hathaway in different locations. And honestly, since I started real estate, I promised my husband that I would get 4 transactions under my belt before I quit my full-time job at corporate America. And it was 1. And then I quit my full-time job at corporate America because I loved this business so much. And I wanted to get out of the normal day-to-day, corporate America business. So I kind of just, I looked at this as a full-time position. So just kind of started from knowing nothing and dedicating 40 hours a week to doing something productive in this business. And really it was relationship building, which I'll go into in a little bit, but it picked up right away for me, which I'm very grateful and humble for. And within a couple of years, I became the assistant manager of the office, helping around, with trainings and things with agents here, for the other manager. And then that whole situation kind of changed, and I was kind of blindsided, like, hey, do you want to take over the office as a manager? So I didn't sleep for a few days. I didn't eat for a few days. And so the decision for my family it was the right call. So took the position as being a manager. And within 6 months, then Berkshire Hathaway came rolling in, basically, and that transition had started and happened. And so it's been a wild ride since then. And that was, Rick, it's been what, two years now? It's almost exactly 2 years now.
Yeah.
Crazy how time flies by. But really only just a couple of months ago, it was the best decision for myself and my family again to hand over the reins to another rock star manager here at this office and get back for me what I love doing most. So, and that's real estate, that's just sales. So I'm grateful that we have a wonderful manager here that's really just taken off. And I still have my space and my freedom and my time to build those relationships and get back into what makes me happy. So it's kind of a win-win.
Excellent. Yeah, and I could see one of the things about you that I think you do really well is your social media presence. Your social media presence, plus you have a tremendous presence in the community. How you just mentioned sheep grazing, and thanks for throwing in since 1988. By the way, appreciate that. I graduated high school in '83. All right, but let's move on. And I can tell you have that entrepreneurial spirit because I know your husband and you do a few investment properties and so forth too. So I think this is huge for you just to jump off and do this. And it's got to be real exciting, right?
It is, yeah, for sure. And we have the support from friends, family, from the company, from you guys, executives. It's a great company. It's a great, it's just a win-win, for everyone. So couldn't be happier for sure.
That's great. Now, I have to throw this in because I know that you're you just mentioned it, Green Bay, Cheesehead, Green Bay Packers, right? Okay, so give us a prediction. What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers?
Oh my goodness. Thanks for that.
I'm putting you on the spot. By the way, this was not scripted, folks.
Am I red? Okay, it's been sloppy. It's continuing to be a little bit sloppy. I don't really know. I mean, we're very fortunate. Our history for our team is that our teammates and players do not necessarily leave. We have really good tenure at Packers. So we'll just have to see. I'm hopeful that Brett Favre will get on the phone and, hey, Aaron Rodgers, let's sit down and talk about, staying and not making the choices that I had made in the last few years.
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Well, I'll make a prediction. I think he's going to stay and play. And even if he doesn't, you got Jordan Love, who's pretty incredible. So there you go. And I think that's what's bothering him. I love Aaron Rodgers. I just wish, he'd get back to playing because he was MVP last year. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I didn't mean to spring that on you, but I'm sure you guys you always have a tremendous year. And just so you know, the second Super Bowl I ever went to was New England and Green Bay, and you guys swamped us. And that was the last one we lost for a little while, though. All right. So you are a bundle of energy. Fortunately, your husband is a wonderful guy, too. I remember meeting him at the event a couple years ago. Great guy. He can keep up with you because not a lot of people can. All right. So you have stuff going on in the community. You have your personal business going on. You just got a great entrepreneurial spirit. So help them. Let's say, the agents that are getting started and so forth. Give them a couple of little tips on how you got your business started, listing and selling real estate.
Yeah, of course. And there's a couple things that you and my husband have in common, Rick, and that might be, the bald's head would be one of them. So anyway, moving on. That was not scripted.
When you say bald, you mean extremely tight haircut is what you're talking about, right?
That's what I meant. Yes.
I knew what you meant. I appreciate that. It's okay.
No, okay. So a couple of quick tips, when I first started that might help other agents get going. The biggest thing is focusing on repetitive marketing that has your best exposure content. So basically, you cannot put your name out there one time and expect, business to drop in your lap and everyone to know who you are. You need to do repetitive things all the time and consistently to be able to get your name out there. That's the biggest thing, no matter if you're starting out fresh or if you're a seasoned agent. No matter what, honestly, repetitive marketing and the best exposure possible is number one to me. So that honestly, we're doing USA flags in our neighborhoods again this year. And so I have 800, the office bought 16,000. So we're putting USA flags out for 4th of July again with a cute little card that has, the 4th of July phrases on it. And just because we care, but it also gets our name out there to show people this is from my heart, giving you this flag, and that's what I want to do. So honestly, repetitive marketing in a different kind of way, not selling yourself, because that's not, my opinion, what's going to work for you, but just repetitive marketing on social media, open houses that are now happening again, finally, postcard campaigns, letters, card magnets. They need to see your face all the time. And that would be point number one, honestly, that I would stress upon a lot.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I even, hey, listen, here's the good news. Even in California, by July 4th, you'll be able to put those flags out without a mask on. Whoa, it appears,
Woo!
right? You'll be maskless.
Nice. So I don't have to be sweating underneath the mask while I'm trying to dig a hole in the hardscaping lawns. Great.
I can only imagine if if I wore makeup, how incredibly terrible that would be with everything running down my face. But I don't wear makeup, so I'm fortunate. So, all right. So, and I'm going to give them a couple of tips too, because I've seen your social media. You're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You're on all of them, and I love the fact. Matter of fact, we even did one of them on Instagram with us jumping and doing the high five, and you make it look fun.
Right.
It's getting people's attention, getting them to know who you are. Hey, I even saw you dressed as a present. You would tell them about that. That was hilarious.
Well, that was an exciting event actually that the whole office did. We had maybe about 12 or 15 agents basically dressed as, we had big gift boxes. And that was for the tree lighting ceremony at the City of Menifee event 2 years ago, since last year it didn't really happen in person. One of the agents is here, actually, Brian, in the front room. He was dressed as a Christmas tree, so we got to give him credit too. All the rest of us were dressed as gift boxes with lighting on it, with a big banner on it. We were kind of a sponsor for the City of Menifee, for that event. So it was fun. And you know what? It's kind of embarrassing in a way, but you have to laugh at yourself and you have to think outside the box, outside the gift box, I should say,
Right.
and just do something that's a little bit different, that makes yourself stand apart.
Yeah, I love it. No, and that's such a great point because look, I've been in real estate for 36 years. Got my license at 11. I'm joking. I've been in 36 years, and I'm going to tell you something. The newest thing for me that I had to adapt to, become uncomfortable, feel like a goofball was social media. And it started with Facebook, which I can't even tell you what I used to call it when it started, because it definitely is an HR violation. And then Instagram, LinkedIn, when LinkedIn became cool, which it has in the last few years, and Twitter, and now I'm even on TikTok. Okay, but especially somebody your age, right, and especially younger too, if you're not showing them, because I could actually pull up your account and get a really good resume about Jennifer Wentz just by your social media, right? And get a good feeling. People have to understand that. I think it's important.
Yeah, it definitely is. Websites are outdated, QR codes are outdated. It really depends on your presence because honestly, when I represent landlords and do application document scrubbing, I also am checking their social media to make sure that they have on their social media their true colors, right? It matches their employment on their application, which matches their Facebook page. I want to see pictures of their family. I want to see, if they're going to the casino every night and they're not responsible, sometimes like me, that I use that for fact checking, and for getting a gauge about the personality of the person. And it truly is, like you said, a resume.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to have a good time. And when you go on vacation and so forth, you just don't have to post all of that on social media. Like I know that you use it the same way too. I use social media for business, not so people back in New England know I'm having fish for dinner or that you're actually having cheese. Joking. Right? So, oh, that was terrible. I know. That was we can classify that a dad joke. That was a cheesy joke. There he goes again. Anyway, but my point is that you're using it for business, and if you're using it for business, yes, you have to show them some personal stuff, but you got to be careful what you're sharing.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
All right, so I kind of got you to mention the first one. You know how I always like to ask the three most important things. You mentioned the first one. Give us a couple more about how to maximize this existence in real estate.
Okay. I would say number two would definitely be, when you solidify yourself with a potential client, the biggest thing is you cannot come off, with pressure or stress or like you're selling under duress. You can't do that. You have to listen to them and build a relationship and let them know that when the time is right, whether that's a month from now or a year from now, I want to be your sole partner and plan with you. I want to be your trusted advisor. I want you to come to me for planning, not just to get the sale done. I want to be your partner and plan with you. So a lot of agents sometimes are so quick to be like, oh, I got, a lead. I need to close this. I need to get the paper signed. I can't wait, like all this stuff when In fact, the client might not be ready to sign. They might be looking for some friendly advice, and they're trying to get a gauge on you for a friendship level before they trust you with your business. So I think that would be point number 2, is just take a back seat. You're building your pipeline by doing that. Eventually they're going to become a buyer and a seller because they're going to trust you as a friend before they trust you with business.
Yeah, I just want you to know, Laura Collins says, "Thank you, Jennifer." I got to check. I had to read. Got to see with my glasses on. Yeah, that's such an important point. Okay. So the last time I was in a market like this selling real estate, I would go to my sphere and I would say things like, "Hey, have you ever thought about keeping this house, renting it out, maybe taking some equity, and then buying the next house?" They'd be like, "I could do that. Of course, you could do that." Right. So when you go in, like you said, trusted advisor, you're thinking long term for them. You mentioned the word planning, which is very good, financial planning as well. You gain customer. First off, it's the right thing to do. The old golden rule really fits into the fiduciary responsibility. And when you take people's total life or empathy, like put yourself in their shoes, given the same situation, what would you do, or what options should you offer them anyway? Because they are, as you said, clients for life, trusted advisor. And the way that you talk, which I really like, by the way, the way you talk about doing your business prospecting is really like reverse prospecting. You don't bring up real estate, you do other things, okay? But they know that you're in real estate. And because you do it that way, I guarantee you attract a lot of business from your sphere, your farm, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that kind of brings me to point number 3, which basically, so I don't really have any real estate goals that are number related. I don't have monetary goals for being in the business. I don't have units or volume. My goal is to build my sphere by 50 people year over year. And really that's point number 3 is, building your book of business by relationship building. I've never been a fan of buying leads on, it rhymes with willow, on any of those websites. That, to me, that's just, it's just not being genuine and authentic. And you're never going to last in the business if you count on purchasing, leads from strangers. To me, it's always, hey, I want to build my sphere. I want to add more people to, my Rolodex, I guess you'd say. And, then they will probably refer me with, word of mouth to others. And so that's kind of how I built my business after I got off and running, was more or less conversations with many people. And, I will go to their house and help them paint if they're elderly and they can't paint. I will go and make the appraisal that, right, if he called out smoke detectors, I'll install them myself. I'll kind of go above and beyond, because that also, like marketing, if you put yourself, apart from the crowd and go a little bit above and beyond, you feel good at the end of the day, your client feels good, and they're going to talk about you like you are just gold. And so that's the relationship part of it that I would say, you should focus on more than anything else, is building those relationships and conversations. And like you said, Rick, you talk to somebody, for me, like at the karaoke bar, or you talk to somebody at the casino, you have some sort of a similar interest, and then all of a sudden they find out that you have somebody that from a mountain trip or something. So it's a revolving door, and that's why my goal has always been to increase my sphere by 50 people every single year, and then business just comes from it. And I'm grateful for that, but that's kind of just been my goal.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I saw your post, you and your husband, with the karaoke. So then, if you notice, right the next day, I think it was actually that night, Tina and I did that little Beatles tune, and I posted it on there, got a lot of comments. I thought, I haven't done something like that in a while. So you motivated me to do that. And that's the kind of thing, like, you're not just doing real estate. You're a part of their community, a part of their life, trusted advisor, friend. And I love what you said about not necessarily having money goals or transaction goals, but adding to your sphere every single year. That's incredibly important, I believe, too, because that's where your repeat and referral business comes. And if you're doing an incredible job, okay, why wouldn't they want to use you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to make sure that you do a good job during the transaction. Otherwise, your word of mouth could be in the negative part. So, and that's a huge thing for sure. And that's one thing that I actually am joining a couple organizations here within the city of Menifee that I'm not going to speak yet on, but I'm joining because I want to just meet people. I want to build networking, and if I can give people some advice or some, really good knowledge about the market or anything that I know, I want to give back. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm asking for you to keep me top of mind, when they do have a real estate related question. That's going to be more valuable than, receiving a door hanger in a mail or, hey, I'll do your listing for 1%. That, to me, that's not of value. So that's huge. It's just being a part of your community, and expanding on your sphere, really.
That's great. That's great too. Yeah. And, the thing is that, by the way, you're getting a lot of, let's see, Erica Martin says, love that point. Laura Lester even loves the Beatles too, by the way. Okay. So there you go.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will say really quick, Rick, Laura Lester is part of my karaoke crew, and she just joined this office as a new licensed agent. So,
Oh,
thank you,
Laura.
Laura.
Oh, as a matter of fact, she has 2 microphones right there by her name too. So yeah. Maybe we'll get her on to sing a song for everybody. There you go.
Ooh, there we go.
Maybe we'll do a karaoke live. How about that sometime?
Let's do it. Berkshire will sponsor it. Let's do it.
There you go. Exact. Thank you, Paul. I play the guitar and sing, so I call it guitarioke.
Ooh, I like it.
I should have probably patented that before I mentioned it live, but that's what it is, guitarioke. All right. So, and the other thing is that with all this going on, and you can say your heart's in the right place, your head's in the right place. You also have fun doing this too, right? Even some of your posts. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun selling real estate if you're passionate about it, and that passion comes out. We can feel it. So great job. Any final words you want to leave these wonderful people?
Final thoughts. Honestly, if you just think about doing the right thing, then business will come. So Rick, you mentioned one thing in your success series, I want to say a year ago or so. If you're walking up to do a door hanging, situation, and you feel like you're in the wrong place and you might get, like you're doing the wrong thing, then it's going to come back at you in that same kind of energy. So just be confident in yourself. You can find any answer in real estate with your managers or with your mentors or with your guides or your transaction coordinator. Just come off as authentic and genuine and be yourself, because then you're going to last in this business no matter what, because it's based on relationships. So whatever happens in the market, there's always reasons to buy and sell. So just try to be authentic and genuine and think about, your relationship building before any numbers come into play. That's all.
All right. I really appreciate it. No, you're absolutely right. I believe that people are first off, everybody is completely perceptive. I can tell, and you can tell if I'm confident. I can tell if you're confident. A dog can tell if you're afraid. I mean, we are perceptive as human beings, and when you go around door knocking like you're doing something wrong, they pick up on it. When you go around door knocking like you're doing something right, they pick up on it. So So when people tell me I went out door knocking and I got beat up, and I'll say, well, the world is a mirror. It gave you back exactly what you were thinking. So you need to go out there. They don't always like when I answer them that way too, by the way. Can you imagine that? It's crazy. But if you go out there and I used to take it as a challenge. I go door knocking, and the person who's already waiting with the door open with this face, I take it as a challenge to disarm them by the time I get to the front door with my big smile. I smile, I look at them, I can tell they're trying not to, and by the time I get there, their face is usually different if I'm being different to them. So very, very good point. Well, Jennifer, keep rocking. We know you're going to kill it this year. All right. And it's already halfway through, and you are doing incredibly well. So great job. Pleasure working with you and everybody. Thanks, Jennifer. And we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.